Yeah, please.
Can you see it on the screen? So let's start. So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Happy to see all of you. We are not lost. We start our first presentation today. We call it Module 1, Day-1. And we will talk about vision and roadmap for Industry 5.0 and Society 5.0. But first of all, I would like to say that my main goal, objective, is to give you some knowledge and skills on this new topic of collective intelligence. And if something is not clear for you, please raise your hand, stop me, interrupt me, and ask questions. Yeah, because our main goal is that after 5 days you understand all these concepts and you are happy and you understand everything. Is it okay? Yes. Okay, thank you. So, now let me start my presentation and two words about timing. So, I need Professor Animash. So, what time we need to finish? 1 o'clock?
It is 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. So after 1 hour, you can have a 5 minutes break.
5 minutes. So, and now, okay, let's start. And so today we will talk about collective intelligence. And all of you, of course, you know very well the breaking news of artificial intelligence developments last year when ChatGPT, which was created by Open AI company, and which is based on neural network models and machine learning methods, got a big attention of all humans on the earth. Yeah. And the number of users reached 100 in January 2023, with more than 25 million users per day, and more than 6 million website visitors. You of course know this very well. And of course, this is absolutely great success. It is a new era for human beings. But the main question is still open. Do we understand fully how our mind works, yeah, or not? And is this way with machine learning is only the way how to build artificial intelligence applications? And will we really have chance to meet artificial, as it's called, general intelligence again very soon or not? Today and the next 4 days we will talk with you about alternative concept, which is called collective artificial intelligence, and we call it intelligence because it is not for collective intelligence which is organized in hierarchical way, but it is about self-organized systems. And this approach we experimentally proved in a number of projects for developing digital twins of enterprises, complex smart technical objects, and even living organisms. So we got one of our projects is a digital twin of plant. We use it for wheat. So this approach is inspired by theory of complex adaptive systems and the number of conventional ontology-based multi-agent systems successfully delivered to clients. So, what I also want to know that on my slides will be a number of words, yeah. But my goal is just because of my not very good English language to give you a chance to read this information and to be sure, to make us sure that we all understand each other better. Okay. So, what is the concept of emergent intelligence in general? Yeah. So, the main concept is that the complex objects and the complex behavior can emerge from a set of very simple objects and simple rules. And examples of complex systems we all know very well. It's a global climate, or human brains, or social networks and economical organizations. Yeah, swarm of bees, living cells, and the whole universe. So, in philosophy and in theory of systems, systems theory, in science and art, emergence occurs when a complex entity has properties or behaviors that its parts don't have. And they emerge only when they are these elements of the system interact in a wider, inside a wider whole. In this context, the phenomena of life, as it's studied in biology, is an emergent property of chemistry. And there are very interesting theory of Belgian professor Ilya Prigozhin, who got Nobel Prize in 1978. He discovered so-called autocatalytical reactions in organic liquids. And these autocatalytical reactions is a chain of changes, accelerating change of changes, which help system make a transfer from one unstable equilibrium to another. And many scientists who accept this theory, they found out that maybe this is one of the origins of the life. And the hypothesis of our papers and this presentation and all what we are looking at is that emergent intelligence, so collective intelligence and artificial general intelligence must have the same principle. Because if such complex objects like our universe is self-organized somehow, then our brain also must use the same principle. But in more narrow sense, we define emergent intelligence as a type of collective intelligence, as a property of all self-organized and knowledge-driven multi-agent systems for solving complex problems, where the solution of any problem is forming as a result of competition and cooperation of software agents on virtual market. For what? For finding trade-offs and reaching state of competitive equilibrium. So, what is the meaning of this competitive equilibrium? It means that no one agent can improve its state and the state of the system as a whole. And so for us, after 20 years of research, we found out that this very simple principle works in so different applications. For example, adaptive resource management, or text understanding, or clustering, or even design of complex objects. And so this is something fundamental which we can use for solving different type of problems. Yeah, is it clear? The main idea. And what is interesting that it comes also in philosophy and in culture of many people. And for example, this is very close to the concept of yin and yang, yeah, where two opposite entities continuously make matching, find each other, and sometimes compete and sometimes can cooperate and switch from competition to cooperation and back. And this is very interesting. And this it gives some new understanding of any type of complex system, yeah? But also which is based on self-organization. Because all of them, they take decisions on their own, and they need to coordinate their decisions because of some conflicts. So the approach when we build a solution by solving conflicts and making trade-offs to find consensus looks like a generic procedure which can be applied for many different applications. But also, if we use formalized knowledge, digitalized knowledge, not just data, but knowledge, yeah, about our world, then we can provide opportunity the system will learn on the fly using machine learning methods or many other, you know, there are some other methods. And then it gives system opportunity to evolve. So then we already making step to fundamentally new concepts in artificial intelligence based on ideas of self-organization and evolution. First time we got this vision in about 2007 when we started working on very complex problems for transportation, where one European company wants to have a dynamic adaptive scheduler to process orders on the fly. And we found out that there are a number of very interesting phenomena which comes when we start using multi-agent systems for such kind of application. Here on the left, you can see different what is called phase space or decision-making spaces, yeah, where it could be a factory or transportation and so on, but you can see how complex they are in general. So it's very difficult to predict where a system will be on the next stage, yeah. But also there are some beauty in these pictures, yeah. So complexity and beauty, it is something which we need to take in consideration. But coming back to the origins of life and self-organization, you know that till now humans don't know how, for sure, yeah, how life begins. But there are many interesting experiments which show that one of the ways how all things are organized is self-organization with these political reactions and not stable equilibrium. So in real life, those oceans, there were a lot of amino acids and warm water and energy coming from lighting and what underwater volcanoes and so on. And there is a well-known Miller-Urey experiment where it was found that amino acids and more complex proteins, which construct our bodies, yeah, would form from the basic chemistry elements, much more simple, under conditions of this prehistorical early Earth. And what is fantastic from my point of view, that all 20 main proteins required for life can be formed in such way. And these acids spontaneously combine into randomly ordered protein chains without any help from we think other like warm water and energy coming from electricity. Yeah? At some point, and we still don't understand how it happened, the complex enough proteins form that you are able to trigger copies of itself to appear. These proteins become trapped in lipid bubbles, which can form quite easily. And self-replicating proteins inside the lipid bubble is a very basic cell. Let me show you this experiment of linear urate. Just I'll try to show it. Yeah. So look, we have some boiled water, and we run this experiment. People, scientists run this experiment in a number of weeks, and liquid water was heated, and then sparks arrive in lighting, yeah, and then you can see how these small new molecules form. They come back to the water, original ocean, and again and again. And you can see that these bubbles become more and more bigger and bigger, yeah, more and more complex, because their interaction produce new conditions for new chains of changes, yeah, and this process can result in something very unpredictable. Of course, we don't know absolutely for sure how all these things really happen, yeah, and nobody can help us at the moment in this. But there is one of hypotheses which, of course, very important for us for deep understanding of all growths which we have also in brain, mind. And look, after Newton and Einstein, Ilya Prigozhin now is considered as one of the main scientists who influencing the development of the modern science. Yeah? And just two words about Ilya Prigozhin and about Stuart Kaufman, who was one of his students. You can see that the second law of states that physical systems tend to slide spontaneously and irreversible towards a state of disorder. It does not, however, explain how complex system could have arisen spontaneously from less ordered state and have maintained themselves. This is the main question. So Newton and Einstein, they explain how complex systems come to chaos, but nobody explained how from chaos complex systems arise. Yeah? This is the main question. So Prigozhin argued that as long as the system receives energy and matter from external source, so it is open, self-organized system, non-linear system, or we call it dissipative structures, can go through periods of instability and then become self-organized, yeah, resulting in more complex states and systems whose characteristics cannot be predicted in advance. A very interesting, very new, very important concept which arrived not far ago. It is how much? 30 and 20, 50 years ago, yeah, only. And Stuart Kaufman, who was American medical doctor and biologist, and he became researcher of complex systems. And his interest was to study origins of life. So what is interesting, he is best known for arguing the complexity of biological systems and organisms might result as much from self-organization, apart from equilibrium dynamics, as from Darwin natural selection laws, as discussed in his book Origins of Order. So imagine, yeah, it's alternative concept for Darwin theory, yeah, that all our cells, all primitive organisms and complex molecules, they formed in such a way. So self-organization, or he called it spontaneous order, is a process where some form of oral order arises from the local interactions between parts of initially disordered system. And we will see analogy in multi-agent system. When they, in the beginning, they have no links, but then after some negotiations and conflict resolution, they establish link. They make matching, like plus and minus, or yin and yang, or boys and girls, and so on. So they form links. And what is interesting that recent research shows that some types of cells, any cells in our organisms, are also attractive. So in the cell, this is unstable equilibrium, which continuously exchange their energy, information, and matter with surrounding world. And after catalytic processes, they are one of the key elements in forming complex polymers. Polymers, you understand, this is how life is organized. Is it clear what I'm talking about? Right? Thank you. Okay, and it was very interesting to make a small research and to have a look what is in the modern literature about collective intelligence and what people say about such kind of new concepts and their applications. And we found one of the papers which was focused on to understand and differentiate collective intelligence and artificial intelligence. Yeah? And you can see this reference to this paper. It was published a year ago, yeah? August, September 2022. And these guys, they use Microsoft Academic Graph to analyze, can you imagine, about 40,000 different papers focused on collective intelligence and artificial intelligence. Yeah. So artificial intelligence here is defined as a non-collective intelligence papers. Yeah, and collective intelligence defined as non-artificial intelligence literature, but using such kind of keywords like crowdsourcing, citizen science, collective intelligence, wisdom of crowds, collective wisdom, and so on. And artificial intelligence was more mainly focused on neural networks, deep learning, machine learning, and so on. So in this huge research, we didn't find any one word about self-organized systems and decision making in such kind of systems. Yeah? But emergent intelligence already is a term which arrived maybe 5-10 years ago, and you can find here links to different papers which you can read. And this is all about some general principles, about swarms of robots. Of course, it is about optimization and some other types of application, even, for example, for mobile phones network. But it was also interesting to see where more or less we can find relevant papers about emergent intelligence, and one of our findings was that it was more close, relatively close to self-organized cyber-physical systems. So, and absolutely fantastic for us was that in the Congress of multi-agent systems, you know, not so many people talking about self-organized systems. We know a lot of examples, applications where, for example, people use multi-agent technology to build branch and bound method and some other traditional classical method. So what is the reason for that? We don't understand. But in this literature, for example, you can find this paper, Paul Litau and some other colleagues, collective intelligence in self-organized industrial cyber-physical systems. Also, a recent paper was published only in 2022. You can find it here the link. So they analyzed about 6,000 papers about collective intelligence in industrial CPS cyber-physical systems. They found out that first peak about emergent intelligence was raised only not far ago. This is some peak of interest. It is about 2019. And
Sir, just 1 minute policy.
sorry?
Sir, just 1 minute.
Okay, please. Yeah, let's stop for 1 second. Okay. Yeah, sorry. We continue. So you can see here the peak it was before pandemic, and also on the right diagram you can see the number, the percentage of papers which at the moment allocated between different countries. So the biggest part of such literature comes from the United States. Then what is interesting, Italy has a very interesting fundamental school of multi-agent systems. Then United Kingdom, France, and some other. So the conclusion of this paper was that collective intelligence, emergent intelligence in AI-based digital twins have not yet received significant attention from academia and industry, but it will probably come soon. So we all have a chance to contribute to this new and very interesting area of application. So this was some introduction to our main area of interest. And today we will come back right now to Industry 5.0 and Society 5.0, and we'll discuss where collective intelligence is sitting there. And our plan for this day looks like this. So we will discuss some basic things, and tomorrow we'll drill in more details. Yeah. So, what is the main idea? What is the main concept of Industry 5.0 and Industry and Society 5.0? So, we all know about Industry 4.0. This term was introduced by German scientists in about 2014. when German government demanded to develop the concept for total automatization and robotization of factories. And we know that Industry 4.0 solves focused on data, on industrial automation. And what does it mean, industrial? It's automation of physical processes. So you know these big cranes, conveyors, and so on. So it helps people to do mechanical work, first of all. Yeah? But Industry 5.0 is already focused on mental processes, on the ways how people take decisions. And but to take decisions, data is not enough. You need knowledge, yeah, how to take this. Because to take decisions, we understand the sequence of conclusions, events, and so on and so on. And so Industry 5.0 is focused on digitalization of knowledge and forming smart digital ecosystems or colonies of autonomous digital twins of enterprises and objects for automation of collective decision-making processes. So two things absolutely key for us: digitalization of knowledge, not data, is the next step, and colonies of autonomous robots. It could be in the hardware, but first of all, we are interested to talk about software. Yeah? But what is also very interesting and important that this opportunity to bring artificial intelligence in the loop will significant people write about this more and more in the papers. That it will also change significantly our way of management of enterprises and society in general. What does it mean? It will provide shift from hierarchical structures to self-organization and networks, from instructions from top to down to negotiations, with a focus on knowledge, talents, entrepreneurship, dynamic salaries, knowledge dividends, and a lot of other new interesting approaches or ideas, concepts, and principles. So we think that digital ecosystems of such kind of autonomous artificial intelligence systems will be very important, not to eliminate humans from all this process of decision making, of course, but vice versa, to help people to discover their talents, build talent-centric networks, and use and apply people creativity, will, energy, knowledge, and skills for a better life. So this is the main vision of Industry 5.0, and that is why today and in our other days we will talk about management of resources, because it becomes key in this new industry and society. Why? Because it is a big step. So when not people take decision in management, yeah. For example, taxi company, truck management company, couriers companies, factories, and so on. But machines, artificial intelligence, which manage resources, trying to find the balance between profitability, client satisfaction, minimizing risks, and all other criteria. Yeah, is it clear? Yes. Please.
I am asking about what is the meaning of digital twins? What is the means of twins?
Twins,
Yeah.
twins, yeah. twins, digital twins. Yeah, I need to explain a little bit. So this is a very hot area right now in the literature. So maybe in cybernetics and computer science, digital twins become now, the number of papers in this area increased 10 times in the last few years. Why? First of all, it is some kind of convergence between different technologies. Internet of Things, models of complex objects like turbines, yeah, and aircrafts and so on, and some other technology. But to implement, to use sensors, executors, together with models of objects, and right now, what's happening? Also, artificial intelligence systems altogether. So, when can we talk about and what is our understanding of digital twins? And first of all, we need to see this evolution. It comes from very simple models, then they call it smart digital twins, then people call it cognitive digital twins with artificial, and then right now people call it autonomous digital twins. So it is a copy of real projects for a real object. For example, and not only turbines or aircrafts and so on, but also organizations. So if you have in cybernetics your copy of your organization, where you have schedule of all people, equipment, machines, and so on and so on. And the state of the model continuously synchronized with the real object, then you can talk about digital twin. But from our point of view, it is a smart or intelligent cyber physical system which strongly connected with real life, real processes, real. So what digital twin must do? So it gets information from the real object. It applies model of this for the forecast, planning, and simulation of it. And this digital twin works simultaneously with the real. For example, if we're talking about plants, yeah, so you have real plants or crops in the field, but in computer, in parallel with the real plant, let me say electronical plant, virtual plant is growing. And when agronomist goes to the field and can make measurements of how green the plant, how green all leaves and so on, and report about this to the system, system immediately recalculates plan of the next stages of this plant or crop development. And then these two things synchronize, these two objects. That is why we call them digital twins. Right? Clear? Thank you. Thank you for your question. So, is it clear the concept of 5.0? Yeah. So, and let's have a look how all these things already coming to our real life. Yeah? Because now it becomes not just theory, it is or vision. Yeah, it is already among us. So we can see this shift of paradigm to come from top-down hierarchicals to self-organized systems with collective decision-making already everywhere. For example, if we talk about technical and complex technical objects, smart technical objects, and so on, we can find such examples in space, in aviation, in engines, and so on. So imagine aircraft is a network of 100,000 parts, each of them can take somehow decision, yeah. And for example, aircraft which is flying on 10,000 meters suddenly can recognize that something happened, yeah, with engine or wings and so on, and immediately request to the satellite, yeah, and the satellite to the ground, and ground to the technical support system, which will give back some instructions how to change the mode of this engine or wing and so on. Fantastically, yeah, but it's already happening. Well, engines which consist from self-organized blades. So blades can measure the pressure of coming air and negotiate under what angle to meet this flow of air. So collective intelligence between blades in the engine, yeah? Fantastic. Then, wing as a combination of small wings. It means like birds, yeah, when they fly, yeah, they don't have one big wing. They have many small wings which somehow coordinated, yeah, by muscles, by some narrow impulses and so on. And of course, you know, this is already smart, different kind of autonomous robots, including UAVs, unmanned aviation vehicles, trucks, and so on. One of our projects at the moment, we are making scheduling of driverless trucks between Moscow and St. Petersburg. So this year it will be 6 trucks. The next year it will be 30 trucks. And of course, it could be marines and it could be some other types of robots. In other examples, you can see in smart cities. So already all people understand that if you build system to manage energy, to build transport, to build some other domains, it's already very good. But what if something happened, for example, with electrical transport, you need to distribute energy. Yeah? So these all systems need to be interconnected. And what does it mean? Not just integrated using data, because data just give information. No, we need to have coordinated decision making because they need to take decisions. And they could not be isolated if they are isolated. The same story for smart enterprises in project management, in manufacturing, in some other areas, and then in the biology. So in medicine, so you can have not only models of different organs, but they need somehow interact, yeah, to provide all functionality of organisms and so on. The same for plants, the same for other areas, and of course ecology. This is a fantastic area because we now need to not just apply modern agriculture technologies, precise farming and so on, but we need to understand the whole biosynosis, because if we make something wrong in one part, immediately we have negative results for a chain of such results in some other. You can see all these problems with global climate and a lot of waste in ocean and so on and so on. So we urgently need systems which help us to take decisions for such complex objects. And coming back or to practice from the theory, from the vision, I would like just to show a couple of different cases which where we have chance to grow. Yeah? If you consider business, if you want to build a digital twin of enterprise, for example, for managing trucks, logistic company, it will be not less than 500 trucks which are on the road at the moment. Not less than 100 orders coming daily, unpredictably. On the horizon, time horizon, on about 10 days, 600 destinations, and a number of very different criteria, preferences, constraints for taking decisions. Yeah? For example, preferred loading time, fixed or variable, backhauls, consolidations, capacity of vehicles, loading sequences, backdoor and sort of sidecar, driver brakes, cross-docking, trucks utilization, drivers regulations, load compatibility, yeah, and many others. The same story is for supply chain because what we, for example, made for Coca-Cola in Germany, it is a food delivery example of food drinks delivery chain. Could be simultaneously 10,000 products which are moving with different speed. It will be about 500 nodes in New York, 5 factories, 300 storages, 1,000 shops, 500 delivery channels, 2,000 orders coming in a day for the horizontal of 10 days. And again, many other constraints, preferences, and criteria for decision making. We also were very lucky to work with the International Space Station. Our system is applied for scheduling about 3,500 types of cargoes for International Space Station. So it is a big storage which is flying and doing a lot of job every day. But first of all, you need to schedule fuel, air, food, scientific equipment for cosmonauts, and for about 4-8 space ship fuel. And also, how to say it, it's a chain of with a lot of complexity. I mean, in criteria, preferences, constraints, and so on. The same picture we see in manufacturing, in project management, in national rails. For example, now we made a system for Moscow-St. Petersburg trains, scheduling for 24-36 hours horizontal. And we started with 2 criteria, for safety and some other special time intervals. And after 2 years, we found ourselves that we implemented about 87 different constraints, preferences, and criteria. For example, when you run a high-speed train, there is no way that against this train will go platform with open space, yeah, because speed is so high and the pressure is so high over there that some things can go out and break windows and other things, yeah. So such types of criteria and constraints you never can apply in classical mathematical tools because there is it's two dynamical rules, yeah, and so on. So you see that complexity here is growing very quickly. But what we have in practice? In practice, what kind of software people can apply? At the moment, the champion here is probably SAP. You know, this company, German company, and works in a lot of industries, and also Baran, Oracle, and many other applications, hundreds of them. But what is interesting, they all not working very well or not working completely when you have a situation of high uncertainty and big turbulence of events. When new orders coming unpredictably, when some machine can be broken, traffic jam, and so on. In such situations, people take full control. People become calling phones, sending emails, trying to solve conflicts somehow. But this trend, yes, and sometimes people say, you are talking about exceptions, yeah, some unpredictable events, but you know, our life becomes more and more unpredictable, and more turbulent events happen every day. Because of what? Because we all become interconnected. So if something happens in one part of the world, it immediately will be propagated to many other parts. And it was a very interesting report from IBM company, which was published in 2014, about 10 years ago, but it was first report which was clearly recognized that this is one of the main trends which makes our life more and more complex. It is uncertainty, turbulent dynamics. You need to take decision understanding context of the situation. You have multi-objective planning and optimization, all things interdependent. You need to take individual preferences and constraints of each order and resource. You need to solve conflicts every day. And these all things are very time and efforts and money, of course, consuming. And this increased complexity, when disruptive events become rather norm than exception, requires high adaptability. That is why we will talk in our lectures and tutorials about adaptability as one of the key features which our collective intelligence systems need to demonstrate. Because of what? Because it will give value for business, because other companies not able to provide very fast, adaptive, efficient management of resources. And for this high adaptability requires long autonomy in decision making. And it influences very much organization of the company, because what happened? That in 4.0, based on ERP systems, we deal with highly centralized, hierarchical, monolithic organizations, very deterministic, slow, established in the 17th or 20th century. And now we see more and more that new enterprises are coming, which are open, decentralized, just to save time for coordination. And they are based on networking, online, fast and flexible. And what our traditional enterprises do when they face uncertainty and dynamics? First of all, they hire new managers to address the issues. Yeah? So they all say, we have not enough resources, not enough resources, not enough resources. Yeah? We know this every day, we hear these stories. And they hire new managers, but also they increase storages, slow down reactions, and so on and so on. And what is the result? The result is loss of efficiency, increase in prices, because now if we're not dealing well with our orders and resources, we would like to increase price, and we ask our customer to pay this price for uncertainty. But why? And of course, it will come to low sustainability and competitiveness of business. And what we are talking about in 5.0. We want to have collective decision by software robots, which they can take better decisions faster 10,000 times. Yeah, and not only make scheduling and optimizations, but also predict peaks and bottlenecks, avoid lag time or idle time of resource, and make a step to dynamical pricing. So the pricing where the cost of your service depends. For example, like in taxi, yeah, when it is peak time, it goes up and down. And of course, this will provide us better sustainability and competitiveness. So just one example of such kind of, so imagine such kind of pan-European network or transportation company with some storages. You can see the circles here, yeah. And new orders coming, yeah. And this new order need to find the best, or what does it mean best, for the shortest way. But if capacity is not available, what can we do? We need to solve conflict, yeah, and to find another alternative routes, make another consolidation, find another truck and driver and so on and so on. So, but they will be busy. So you need to find a way how to solve this conflict. And imagine power of such system that can automatically plan and plan such resource for such kind of company, yeah, dynamically. And what, of course, it is easy to say, but when you start doing such kind of project, you need to take into consideration hundreds, sometimes maybe more, different constraints, preferences, and criteria. Yeah, I list this all here. It was a real example. We made the system for GIST. It is one of the truck management company in United Kingdom. So you can see that, for example, they need to, when you make scheduling, it's not only a lot of resources and a lot of orders, but also it's such kind of constraint, backhaul opportunities, cross-docking operations, yeah, trailer swaps, and so on and so on. So that is why till now, many, maybe most of large complex transportation networks are still serving manually. Another example, in agriculture, we already speak today about digital plants, yeah, about digital twins of plants. So you can see here that the system satellites, of course drones, of course crops on different fields, of course machines. They need to have some intelligence, yeah, and they need to not only to schedule and to optimize the resources, but also adaptively change these resources in real time. For example, because of weather forecast, which can change, as you know, every hour. Yeah? So it is another example. And now let's have a look under kapot to see what kind of models, methods, and technologies are used at the moment. And of course, you can find immediately that in operational research, theory of resource allocation, organization, theory of schedules, and so on. First of all, people use classical combinatorial search, like linear programming, constraint programming, and so on. Also, very often they use gritty local search algorithms, neural networks, meta heuristics, different type of simulation, including simulate annealing, stochastic methods, ant colonies and particle swarm optimization, and combination of different heuristics. However, these all methods still use batch processing, yeah? So they all could be applied if you know in advance your orders and your resources. And then you use some algorithms to find best possible allocation. In a very complex network, people use very simple heuristics, like, for example, first in, first out. Yeah? So you put your new order at the end of the schedule where you have resources available. Yeah? So you don't solve conflict and you don't make reconsideration of the whole schedule because it takes 20 hours. Yeah? Not possible. And that is why people use plan. They try to use it, but not in real time usually. Yeah? And I have a very interesting example from our friend who is working to make a schedule for cosmonauts, for astronauts. Yeah? So he developed special program using one of the IBM packages, and he booked a very big server in Texas, and he calculated, he spent, as he said, 18 hours of computational power, calculate plan for trainings for cosmonauts for 1 year. And then they have meeting all together and to discuss this plan. And one of American cosmonauts raised his hand and said, look, at this moment, at this time, at this day, I can't participate. And when head of this office, NASA and Roscosmos, asked him why, because you already gave us your all preferences, constraints, and so on. He said, look, I can't take part in the trainings this time because I have birthday of my cat. And this birthday of my cat, we celebrate all our families. So different people come from different parts of America to celebrate birthday party of the cat. So I can skip this very important family event. And this guy said, look, I spent 18 hours in Texas server trying to compute the schedule. Now, because of cat, I need to recompute the whole schedule. And of course, he was very disappointed. But this is a real life because every time something happens and you forget something, you have new constraints, you have new preferences. Right? Do you understand? You agree with me? Good. So then we are on one way. So such things happen. And what we need really the systems which take different criteria in consideration, but also understand that this multi-criteria decision making is by definition will be conflict based because we cannot satisfy everyone, everybody at any moment of time. Yeah? We need to somehow to find a way how to solve such problem. But also, yeah, you can see here a lot of different criteria, yeah, like service level, profitability, minimum cost. I want to load my own resources the same way, minimize the risk, and so on. So this criteria can also dynamically change. But also, what is very typical that when you already built your schedule, something happened which ruins your schedule. So you sometimes don't have time just to put on the wall your schedule. Yeah, it will already change during this process. Yeah. So summarizing, we can say what that look, in the past that was there. We have in the past batch planning and optimization. We have optimizers which trying to optimize one global function. which usually represent interest of the center. Yeah? So we tell all the resources what they do, how they should do this, and so on and so on. Also, we use in the past rule-based agents, which don't know what does it mean consensus. Yeah? They use some algorithm, some step by step, and when they go to some place, it's difficult for them to come back and to revise decisions. In a way, with many participants do the same. Yeah? And just constraints and visualization. But now what we want to have all this scheduling optimization in real time and autonomous digital twin of enterprise. Yeah? We want to manage trade-offs, so to find conflicts and solve them in some manageable way. We have some kind of decision-making logic which is not so linear like before. We need always to compare costs and value, because do we need to optimize this resource right now? How much we can get from that? Yeah? If we already know that maybe not so much, drop it. Don't try to find the global optimum. Yeah? Go quickly and then improve when you have time for this improvement. And of course, learning from the past, simulations, adaptation, forecast, it is something what our AI solutions need to take in consideration, and of course, coming back to our main topic, to coordinate decisions and adapt these decisions to unforeseen events in a real time. So that is why we are coming to such diagram, which specifies the core functionality of smart services for adaptive resource management. So we have events which comes at any moment of time, every hour, every minute, every second. Yeah? We need to react, we need to allocate resources properly, we need to make planning and scheduling, we need to make optimization, but if time available.
Do you think we can have a break for 5 minutes?
Break, just give me a chance to finish this
no
slide.
issue. If you think you can continue.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, tell me when I need to stop, because if you will not, I can continue till.
Depending on the script, what do you think?
No,
Okay, you can continue. Okay, continue.
Thank you. So, optimization, but only if time is available. So we need, as we call it, anytime algorithms, which produce some results, and you already can go, but if you have time, you can improve. Simultaneous simulation. So you not only make planning, but as we already discussed for digital twins, we need to make planning, but also sometimes we get information about events which not happened yet, but maybe will happen. Like in airports, or if right now 12 o'clock in the morning, and then information from weather forecast is coming that 7 o'clock p.m. you will have a heavy rain with lightning and so on. This fact is not happened yet, but you already receive information, and you can make clone of your system and run simulations to see what will happen if this airport will be closed. Yeah? What flights you need to adaptively change to know in advance and let them know in advance that such situation could happen. Yeah. So this is what we call real-time simulation. So in parallel with the scheduling and optimization, you can run simulation to see what will happen in case of some event. Forecasting, coordination with users, and then monitoring and control. So imagine system not only makes plans, but then takes this plan and start controlling their execution. And if there are growing gap between plan and reality, what system should do? Of course, make adaptive planning without any, any request to people. Yeah? But of course, when it depends on policy, what kind of events you can produce and process automatically, and what kind need to invite people, yeah, to take decisions. So that is, and of course, the final one here in brackets, it is a learning from experience. It is something what you need to add here to have really autonomous cycle of resource management. And what is the result of it? So this diagram shows you the value which we can potentially save for business. So in green, you can see here multi-agent systems and such kind of intelligent systems. And red is a traditional combinatorial search or some traditional heuristics. So they plan for the big horizon, but then when something happens, they're not reacting. And this mistake, this error accumulates. And in a day, in a week, in a month, yeah? So it is some difference between plan and reality. And that is why you can have some lost profit or not satisfied orders and so on and so on. So, but if we can process event by event, of course it could be not maybe fully 100% match with reality, but already we decrease this difference, and this is something which we say for business. In our experience and theoretical simulations, but also in practice, we can save from 15 to up to 40%. So this gray zone could be shrink to significantly, yeah, bringing more profit to the companies. And of course, in the past, you know that because of lack of such tools, our organizations are very hierarchical. And you see here the decision makers on the top, and the number of people get some information, provide some reports to make life of this person on the top easy. Yeah, and of course, all knowledge sitting in the head of this big boss. And when something happened, new people who enter the organization, they sometimes don't know what to do. In our vision, when robots do this work about planning, optimization, coordination, monitoring, and control, it's a different story, yeah, because people here, they are required. They are required, first of all, to provide knowledge for this decision making, to form some kind of knowledge base. And of course, I would like to repeat it again. So we can replace managers in organization on some level, but not on all levels, because of course, people with their knowledge, talents, skills, and so on can make a lot of creative work. But routine work in management is already something which can be replaced by a robot. Yeah, I'm sorry, Professor Aminesh. Professor. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I was keep going, but now I suggest that maybe we make a break. Yeah. Okay, is it okay? Good? Okay, thank you. Break. 5-7 minutes.
First picture.